to appreciate, to love, to all sorts of brilliant things which we just never think about.
No.
And it's the same when you think of the heart. Our hearts beat. We play sports, we run, we watch sports on football, we see boxers, all sorts of things, and all the time that heart keeps on pumping the blood that keeps being remade every second
Yeah.
around this incredible shell. Is it a shell? This incredible body that we sort of inhabit. If we inhabit the body, don't we? The body is a temple, and
Yeah.
the whole thing is really beyond adequate description in terms of its brilliance. And that's what I think I've said before. Life, I know not everybody has a great life, we know that, but life as an entity, if you like, on this planet is a very rare gift. I mean, it's often said that for you to be there today and for me to be here today, millions of ancestors had to make it through
Yeah.
to produce us. If any one of those ancestors had died along the way hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, or 2 years ago, not 2 years ago, but a few hundred years ago, we wouldn't be here today. So the
Oh.
fact that we are here is a rare gift, that not everybody gets to experience. Well, very few people really in the span of things get to experience. So it's
Yeah.
just about appreciating what we are. We can never understand it or explain it. I mean, that's to me why books are so good, because they sort of pass information on from one generation to the next, and so on. That's how we know, what has happened in the past, what developments have been made. I mean, and on that point, one of the books I think is excellent, I've read it 2 or 3 times, is by Bill Bryson, an American guy who's lived here for many years, an author. I think he may currently have gone back to America, I don't know, but
Yeah.
he's written a number of books. He's a great comedy writer as well. But his book, The Body, is quite a thick tome, quite a thick book. But I probably read it 2 or 3 times since it came out in 2019. And the way he writes is actually great, because you can laugh at. I find I laugh out loud at the way he puts things. But he's so brilliant at explaining every part of the body. The brain, the muscles. You mentioned those things. So I'm a great advocate. I commend people to read some of these books about the body. There's other books called The Brain and so on, and it's just a fascinating subject all round.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wondered if you thought it would be possible to make a human being, and whilst it probably is,
Yeah.
they do make robots which look like us. They can
Absolutely.
they
Yeah.
can constitute. They can do that.
Yeah.
Even with parts, put together with chemicals to make the organs. But of course, it won't have the spark of life. They could make a heart-shaped item, but they don't know what makes it pump, make it,
Yeah.
beat
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of times, millions of times in a lifetime.
Mm.
Incredible stuff.
I know. I know. And while you was talking about the how uh, how the life that we live is a gift and how incredible it is that we're here today, it just cast my mind back to like things um that our ancestors somewhere along the lineage, things that they fought and survived. And I'm talking about things that probably killed some other people, like outbreaks of
Mm. Yeah,
epidemics or pandemics, and
plagues and things. Yeah.
plagues and stuff like that. And it's incredible how
Yeah.
plagues and stuff like that. And it's incredible how the body manages to not pass it on, because there's a lot of
Well,
things
yeah.
that that are hereditary, aren't they? Where
Yeah, there are.
somewhere
Yeah.
along the line, they pass it on to their children. But the ones that are very,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
the ones that are very, very lethal, those ones, they don't seem to pass it on. The body finds a way to kill it within the person
Yeah.
that it inhabits. You know,
Yeah.
it's just, this is where it ends. You're not going further. You're not passing it on to my children. And the body just has that ability to sort of contain it within whoever has it, you know, so they don't pass it on, because there are certain things that could have easily wiped off the whole of humankind. Contagious disease.
Humanity. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
humanity. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like airborne diseases, or even waterborne diseases, where, you know, somebody drinks it and then they, you know, sneeze or whatever, somebody else catches it, and somehow life has a way of putting an end to it and say, you're not going past this, you know, this sort of barrier. You're not crossing it. This is where you stay, you know. And their offspring seem to have a normal life. They just, you know, they're born. Or obviously they would have their own problems to deal with, but whatever the ancestors is dealt with, they manage to contain it. And it's amazing, isn't it, how life can sort of adapt itself to you know, rise up to different challenges, health wise, and just eliminate it there. It's just like sometimes you have somebody that is born blind, marrying somebody else that is born blind, and they have healthy children. You think, wow, you know, they want to have healthy children, don't they? And it's just amazing how the human body and life in itself can, you know, just sort of contain those things and make sure that, you know, going forward. I mean, science plays science develops scientific developments in medicine, the fields of medicine and health. They play a big role as well. But life seems to be able to handle it on its own when there is no scientific cure to something. Life seems to say, you know what, all right, you know, I've got this. I mean, I was just thinking about COVID as well. I thought, what if we didn't live in an age where we could get vaccines for this COVID thing? What would have happened? What would have happened is it would have fizzled out eventually. You know, I mean, it would have killed more people. You know, it would have obviously killed more people, be more